Hey everybody, this is Grace, and in this video I'm going to talk about what it means to be liberal-minded. I am surprised that people have different, very different views on what it means to be liberal-minded. Now that's not a political party, it's an ideology. And liberal-mindedness, one of the areas I'll talk about, well, they're open-minded people. They're the to each their own, and notice I did not say to each his own. It's to their own, you know, they're males and females. Females are not generic males. But one of the areas, among others, I want to focus on is when it comes to family. Now, they are pro-family too, but they're more realistic. That families are not the leave it to beaver these days. They weren't even back then. And there are different types of family. What a person says is family, they might not even be blood kin. I'm not talking about people who are adopted. I'm talking about people who have basically, let's say, gone no contact with their blood relatives. Anyway, there are different types of families. There are, you know, you have single parent families and divorced families and step families and so many others. It's, you know, it's not the leave it to beaver type, okay? And they like, you know, families to, you know, for it to be respected that there are different families. They're more realistic, like I said. And so, my experience in life is the people who believe that families should only be one male, one female, and their children, and live happily ever after together. It doesn't happen. That, to me, what I've seen is their dream that it would be this way. But in reality, is very, very different. Okay, now also my experience is, they are open to different types of ways people are, you know, live and let live and this kind of thing. And they don't say you have to be the same way I am. Now, when I was a graduate student and I was taking classes in, two different fields. One was sociology, the other one was in counseling, okay, counseling courses. And one of the things I had noticed was it was very different, for one thing. But one woman, now this does not represent the whole, this is just this one woman. She had that attitude, if people are in my country, they need to speak the language I speak and they need to act the way I do. This is my country. And she lived here in Texas, in the United States. And I'm looking at her and listening to her, and I don't even know if I did actually say something, but I'm thinking, I'm Texan, I was born and raised, this is my country too, and I would behave like you. Okay, so who are they supposed to behave like, you know? But liberal-minded people say, you know, you have your own language, yes, fine, you know, that's your business. And that's what they are there. That's your business unless, and they do draw a line. There is an unless. And the big unless is, unless you are harming yourself, another, and or others. Okay? That's where they draw the line. You know, nobody's saying go out there and do everything illegal that you can possibly do. No, that's not a liberal-minded way. Now, liberal people their tendency, this is all my opinion, by the way, read the disclaimer below this video on YouTube. But my opinion is, and my experience is, and my knowledge is, they tend to, you know, okay, back to this. I got distracted for a second. Okay, when it comes to work, to trying to make change or progress, liberal-minded people tend to work within the system. They don't try to do anything illegal. They work within the system. Radicals, however, work in any way they want to, outside of the system, any way they can to get whatever they want. Now, more conservative-minded people, they want the status quo. They want everything to stay the same as it was because it worked all these years. It should work now. Well, the biggest question is, who did it work for? Was it just a select few that it worked for, and that's what they want to maintain, or they want to be that select few, part of that select few, yeah. So I'm not quite sure how people got this changed around. I think one of them is because of, well, let me, okay. I think the biggest part is because a lot these days what we're seeing is that liberal-minded people tend to be empaths, empathic, empathetic. They listen, they understand, they can feel what the other person's going through. They can be sympathetic. And these days, they are getting, empaths have always been, a lot of them, empathic people have been considered not to have much of a backbone. They don't stand up to things. And these days, some very important ones are, everybody's very important to me, see? But some of them are showing they now have a backbone. And oh my goodness, you don't have a backbone. You're not supposed to. It's only reserved for us. But yeah, they're showing that they have a backbone, and quite a bit of it is what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And oh my goodness, like I just said, some people think we can do that, but you can't do that. Since when? What country are they living in? Okay. So really, let me wrap this up. I'm seeing a lot of people. They're going a little bit, I don't know, bizarre with it, trying to change definitions even, because it doesn't fit within what they want it to fit in with it, the way they want to see it. The way it's confusing to them. Wait a minute, empaths, having a backbone, standing up and not saying. Now, I'm not saying for anybody to do this at all, because, especially if you're in some kind of an abusive situation, that other situation is rather controlled, okay? But if you're, personally, and you're in a situation where the other person is used to, being domineering and saying, this is, do as I say, not as I do, kind of mentality, they can be dangerous. Anybody can be dangerous. We know that. So that's no, just because anybody can be, don't say, oh, well, I want to take my chances. Things can be dangerous. But anyway, yeah, to me, liberal, anything I've ever learned, anything I've ever known, experienced in my life, liberal-minded people are to each their own, as long as you're not hurting yourself or others. You're not going around breaking every law you can, and, seriously. And I don't see why people have such a time with that. Why they seem to think you have to be like me. Their attitude is, you have to be like me. Why? Talk to y'all later.